Hi, I wanted to talk to you guys today about some of the things that could be holding us back on this ascension process, because things have really ramped up and we have a lot of timelines collapsing within, and as the frequencies separate, we're finding that it's a little bit harder to stay grounded, to stay focused, because all of our stuff is coming up. And so when people ask me, what does it mean for the frequencies to separate? And when I asked my team to give me a little bit better of an explanation, what they showed me was a radio dial. And you know how you can hit the same station and it's the same song, even though it's different numbers, but it's the same broadcast, two different stations. And then what can happen is, and this is what we've been experiencing recently, all of a sudden what was the same station is now just a little tiny adjustment up on the radio dial. So now they're individual. But eventually what's going to happen is these frequencies are going to continue growing and moving out, so that if you think about a radio dial again, you could have one at like 94.7 and one's going to be at 102.3 and then one will be at 104.7. And so you can see that the gap is growing. And so what that means is we struggle to move quickly from one to the other. And the purpose of this is so that you get rid of what we can consider lower, and so that we can be firmly stationed in the higher frequencies. Now, when we look at this, some people are like, well, explain to me what the lower is. Well, the lower is anything that's holding us back. So this is our doubt, our limitations, our lack, our fear. All of these things hold us back. They hold into our form and don't allow us to jump into the higher frequencies with everything we've got. So what's happening now is, as these energies are coming in, they're bringing up anything that is lower so that it can go, so that we can see it, so that we can acknowledge it. And so right now it just feels very chaotic, but there's so much purpose to what's happening, because right now timelines are collapsing. So as you rid yourself of a particular emotion, let's say it's jealousy. So as you rid yourself of jealousy, you kind of see, like, I don't need to be jealous of anybody. I'm perfectly fine the way I am. The timelines that hold jealousy collapse. You don't need them anymore. You've already learned the lesson. So they are not important in your life anymore. So those collapse. Now, collectively, things are collapsing as well. And that can, make things a little bit goofy, and it's kind of like, whoa, what is happening here? How are things collapsing so quickly? And it can make us feel off-centered and off-balance. But our job is to worry about us. Our job is not to worry about what's out there, because out there is a reflection of what's in here as a grouping, as a whole. And that's why they tell you all the time, work on you. Make sure you are okay. Make sure you're straight within yourself, because then your contribution to the collective is perfect. Your contribution to the collective is higher vibrating. And if enough people do this, can you see how it's possible for a gigantic, huge shift? So that's why they're telling us, really focus on us right now. It's okay to be selfish right now. It's okay to worry only about what's going on inside us. So thinking of this, I was looking at certain topics of like, okay, what is really holding us back? And interesting enough, as they do, they tend to show me things personally in my own life. And I have been dealing with my Atlas being out for about a year now. And it would come and go, and it would be okay, and then it would hurt, and I'd be like, what is this? I'm seeing a chiropractor, then I switched to cranial sacral, just trying to get some relief. But it had ramped up in the last month, and so that was my clue. I'm like, okay, what is this? And so what I realized is that it was past life. And the way that I've normally dealt with past lives is I call forth that energy. I talk with it. I try to understand what it learned in the life and what the fear they experienced in the life, so that I can see where it has set up in my own form and where it could be changing my perceptions now and affecting me in this now. And it's been a great tool for integrating all these aspects of myself. And I kept trying to do this. and I just wasn't able to tap into this life the way that I have others. So in talking to a girlfriend, she says to me, she goes, have you considered that it's not human? And I sat there and was like, maybe it's not. And so I decided to expand my focus. And so the next day after I expand my focus and I was, sent the intention of, I need this information. I don't care what type of life it is. I need the information so that I can move forward. I was gifted with being shown so clearly in meditation that it was actually a life of an elephant. And this elephant was like the prize elephant of a village. It was the riding bull elephant. And life was going as this elephant expected. Well, then something happened. There was some spoils of war. And as a trophy, this elephant was actually beheaded, which kind of makes sense when you think about the whole Atlas thing going on. And for the soul of the elephant, for myself, what this did was it created a lot of doubt. Because there was expectations. There was expectations that life would go a certain way. And that was not met. And so what it did was it created that doubt of, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. So I said to my team, I said, all right, give me some more hearing, because this is important. Give me some more information on how I can figure this out. And what they showed me was that one of the biggest issues that we have is that we come in with expectations. We create this life plan, we come in, and even if we're not consciously aware of this life plan, self-consciously we are. And when things don't match, it can create a whole lot of doubt within our form, and it can set up in all sorts of ways, and it can stop us. So what they showed me was a blade of grass. Let's say someone comes in as a blade of grass and they have in their expectations that they're going to grow all summer, and in the fall they're going to go to seed, and then come winter they will die with the cold weather. And what a perfect life. Worshiping the sun, living out in the elements. Well, you can see how it could be a little upsetting if every 2 to 3 weeks they're cut with a lawnmower. They never reached what they considered to be their potential with what their expectations brought in. And so then likewise they showed me a boulder. And here's a boulder, and maybe someone wanted to come in as a boulder for stillness and observation. And all of a sudden, they're blasted to make a tunnel. And so not only is it not stillness, and yes, there's observation, but there could be a lot of chaos if a tunnel is blasted. And you can see how it could be like, whoa, this is not what I signed up for. This is not what I agreed to. I wanted to come and experience this, not that. And what they explained to me was sometimes with lives, let's take the boulder, you're there to experience stillness and observation in spite of everything that's going on. But they explained to me that doubt is not a human condition. It's an earth condition. And all of us who come in, well, it doesn't matter, animal, plant, mineral, however we come in, there can be expectations, and when they're not matched, it creates doubt. So then they challenged me. They said, you need to look at where you have expectations, and where when they're not met, they create doubt. And this not only goes forward, like what are my expectations for how my life is going now, but what are my expectations for how it went? And has that then created more doubt in my form to where I'm not trusting this process? And so it was really fascinating for me, and I've taken some time and I've really looked at this and gone, you know what, we do have expectations, because even if we can look at the past and we can reconcile it and say, okay, I get it, that was in my highest good, and it may not have been the best thing, but I get it. What expectations do we have moving forward? What do we think our life is going to look like, feel like? What expectations do we have for this new earth? What expectations do we have of other people? And when these things are not met, they create a lot of doubt within our form. And doubt is a frequency that doesn't allow us to trust. And the only way that we can move completely forward into the new is to trust. We have to trust. So I challenge you, look at yourself. Look really critically at yourself. Look at your past and look at what your expectations are of the future. Where have you set yourself up for failure because you've had expectations that can't be matched. So it can be a pretty powerful tool. So my plan is to do little videos like this that help to show areas in which people, and myself, of course, are holding ourselves back so that we can look at it and we can honestly go, okay, I see now. And then move forward, collapse that timeline with that energy and continue moving forward and continue helping the collective as we each help ourselves. All right. So stay tuned for more videos because they will be coming out. Sign up for, subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the newsletter on jennyschiltz.com, and then you're going to get more updates, and then that will deal with workshops. You'll see some of the workshops that are coming up, some of the radio specials that I've got coming up, and that way you can keep in touch with what's going on. All right. Until next time, I hope all of you are doing great and have a beautiful day. Talk to you soon.